Hey everyone, Jackie here with Enjoying Life's Journey, and welcome back to another Money Makeover March, What's Working Wednesday. And today I wanted to go over with you our debt journey. If you missed last week, go ahead and check out that video. I will leave it in the description box. Basically, I went over Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, and they're about getting out of debt and building wealth. I mentioned in that video that I was going to tell you where we're at in our baby steps. So we are on step 2, which is the debt snowball. When did we start our journey? I would say we officially started with our baby steps in September of 2013. So I would say it's been a year and a half. And Dave Ramsey mentions that it's going to take about 7 years really to get through all of the steps. So it's definitely not a, fast fix to anything. And he mentions that most people will be able to finish step 1 and 2 within about 2.5 years. So we're actually on track to be finished in about 2.5 years. August of 2013, at that time I did own my dance studio. And we had a really rough summer. It was my 3rd year in business, and I wasn't passionate about it anymore. I decided at that time that I really wanted to just be home and spend time with the family. We had started doing videos for YouTube, more of our adventure stuff, doing hiking and being at the lake, and I thought, I want to do this. I want to do more of this. And the studio was really struggling, so I ended up taking a night job delivering newspapers, and you worked every single day, and I started off with 1 route, so I was making maybe roughly $300 a month, but half of that was going just to pay for the gas to do the route and maintenance on the car, and then whatever I had extra I was trying to put into the studio. And I thought, September came around and I was like, what are we doing? Like, why am I doing this? I'm working this night job to keep the studio open, which I don't even want to be there anymore. It was just really, it was a breaking point, or I guess a crossroads, so to speak. And that's when my husband and I decided, let's close the dance studio. So I closed the dance studio in October, and I decided that I was going to continue working at the newspaper route through the end of the year. My husband and I got married in October, so we wanted to make sure we had a little extra money for that, and we decided we were officially going to start our debt snowball. Now, step 1 is to save $1,000, and Dave Ramsey says don't skip around. Well, we actually skipped around because at this point we had no extra money whatsoever, and we had moved in with my dad to help cut our rent in half. So we're paying him about half of what we were paying on our own, and so that really helped out because now we were actually break even, and we had no money. It was like paycheck to paycheck minus. We had more expenses than we even made money for. So it was kind of like, what are we gonna do? And Dave Ramsey talks about getting gazelle intense, and so in a way this was my attempt. So I took that job, and I ended up taking on a 2nd route. So I took on 2 newspaper routes. So I was making about $600 a month, and again, half of that was going for gas because I was basically driving about 50 miles a day, and it was every single day of the week, rain, shine, no matter what, holidays, everything. It worked every single day. And then I ended up to do maintenance on the car. I had to get more oil changes. I got 2 flat tires. I had to get new windshield wipers because it was raining that winter. So half of the paycheck went to that. The other half I went and I just started paying the first smallest bill I had, which was my Best Buy credit card. I owed about $800 on that, so I cranked that out, and then that was about a $35 monthly payment. So I went and rolled that payment over to my lowest student loan payment, which was $50. So now I was paying about $85 on the student loan. So that's what the snowball is. You take whatever you were paying on the minimum payment of that debt you paid off, and you roll it over to the next step. So I did that. In addition, kept pushing that extra money from the job there, and I was able to pay off that student loan, and that one was about $1,500. So I was able to pay off those 2 debts before the year ended, which was my goal. My goal was to work through the end of the year and to pay off those 2 debts. So I made that happen. We got married. That was great. I was officially a stay-at-home mom. We sold the studio, so that was good. And that basically freed up that $85, and we could start rolling it over into the next debt. However, I ended up finding out I was pregnant, which we were trying. We were trying for our second and last baby here, Elsa. And so Dave Ramsey also mentions that if you do become pregnant, to go ahead and put all of your steps on hold so you can fund for that new baby. So we did that. And other ways that we cut costs were we canceled our Netflix account, which we actually were paying Netflix and we were paying Xbox Live, because in order for us to get the live streaming, we were going through our Xbox. So that saved us about $20 a month there. As well, we actually downgraded our cell phones. We got rid of the smartphones. We just have Cricket. We have unlimited talk and text. We have their base plan. So our monthly cell phone bill was cut down to $50 a month for 2 phones. So whereas we were up to, I think we were paying about $85 before. So we cut down on that. Again, we moved in with my dad, so we cut down on that. So those are ways that we found that extra money that we needed in order for me to be stay at home and for us to be able to save for the baby and kind of help with that. Once we got, once the baby was born, we decided this tax return this year, we put $1,000 in the bank for for the start of our emergency fund, and we paid off our car balance, which was about $4,600. Car was not our 3rd lowest bill. However, we have a huge interest rate on that, and our payment was so high that I felt like we just had to knock it out. And then Ricky and I did agree that he was going to upgrade his motorcycle and we'd sell the old one. So this was going to be our final purchase. So the biggest part of beginning your debt-free journey, one is to stop borrowing money, period. So we had done that up until this point. So what we ended up doing was we did use money to put down on that new bike, and we paid an extra $600 on the old bike, so that way we were able to bring it down to what it was worth versus what we owe. So now the bike now we owe what it's worth, so we are listing that bike to be sold. So that bike will be gone. So we are left, our debt now that we are left with is my final student loan, and I owe about $1,900 on that, and Ricky's now new motorcycle, which will be about $8,000 on that. So that's our last 2 debts that we were working on, and our goal right now is we had the car that we paid off. That car payment was $400, was $399. So we're now paying that $400 directly to the new motorcycle, and when the old motorcycle is sold, that payment was $204, so we will be automatically putting that $204 directly to my student loan. So my student loan will be paid off in about 8 months, and then with next year's tax return, we will be applying that to the remainder balance of Ricky's new motorcycle. So by February of next year, when we get our tax return, we will be debt free. So I am super excited for that. That is our plan. We are sticking to it. And then the 3rd step in Dave Ramsey's baby steps would be for us to finish up our emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of our monthly expenses. We are going to shoot for 6 months. We're going to try to save up for 6 months. So stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know, once we get the bike sold, and kind of let you know where we're at with that. I would love to hear from you. Find out if you are on your own debt journey, if you are out of debt, or how that's going for you. And stay tuned. Next week I will be sharing with you how I'm helping my daughters for their own money makeover. So thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.